All I do is help people retire early. Now, I do not want you to retire so early that you run out of money, obviously, and I don't want you to retire so late that you look back going, hey, my goal was not to die with $10 million. Why didn't I retire earlier when I had my energy and my health and want to spend time with family if I was in a fine spot to do so? What I'm going to do today is go over 5 myths, 5 things that you might be worrying about right now that you just don't need to, that might be getting in the way of you thinking, hey, I can't retire early. So let's hop right in. The first myth is that you need millions of dollars to retire early. Now, the reason that's a myth is you don't need millions. What you need is a way to create the amount of income you want in retirement. It's not about a portfolio compared to some other magical investment. If you have a lot of rental properties that throw off income, well, that can be used for your early retirement. If you have, for example, a significant amount of income from a pension and Social Security and rental income and inheritance and stock options, well, if there's a lot of different moving pieces, the mistake people will still think is, well, I don't have $2 million, so I can't retire early. It's not that simple. And the reason it's not is you might go, I don't want to spend $200,000 a year like some of your clients, which yes, we have clients that want to spend that amount of money. You might go, hey, if I had like $60,000 a year, I could do everything I want and more. Or I'm interested in living abroad. So this article I saw online says you need 2 million to retire. This one says you need 3 million. But I don't have anywhere near that. So can I not retire early? No, that is not what that means. And you're actually doing yourself a disservice by thinking that's the case. So please don't have head trash, is what I call it, around these numbers of I need 1 million or 2 million or 3 million. You need to first determine how much you'd love to spend, not what could you get away with. I see too much of that. I could get away with spending $3,000 a month in retirement. I think I could do it. I'm sure you could. Retirement is not about getting by. How much would you love to spend? And people will say, well, I could get by on $3,000 a month, but if I had like 8 a month, well, then we could do everything we wanted and more. And that's including travel. Okay, awesome. Well, then maybe that means you do need to work 2 more years, but if that's so you can really spend what you want, then it's worth it. To give you some tough love and transparency, most of our clients that are retiring early, they do want to spend in the range of $100,000 to $150,000 a year. I'd say that's the average. Now, those are our clients. That might not be you. Now, when it comes to spending $100,000 a year, generally there's something called a withdrawal rate. And this is saying how much money you need to pull from your portfolio so you can do what you want to do and never run out of money, which is the second myth. The second myth is what's called the 4% withdrawal rate myth. Now, the 4% rule is a very common rule. It's what most people plan on when they retire. I do not like this rule. And the reason I do not like it, and I'm very vocal about that, is it's designed for a 30-year retirement. So if you want to retire at 65 and die at 95, it's possible you could use this rule. That's what the study is based off. But it's assuming you're only invested in 2 asset classes: intermediate term US bonds and US large caps. So if you have $1 million in this portfolio, it's saying you can take out 4% if you follow the rules they talk about, and you can be rest assured you won't run out of money for 30 years. I don't like that for a few reasons. The first reason I don't like that is most of my clients are retiring early, before 65, 50 to 65, anywhere in that range. So if you want to plan on income for 40 or 50 years, this withdrawal rate rule, history proves, will not work. So I prefer something called the guardrails approach. So the guardrails approach is saying, if you don't just have intermediate term US bonds and US large caps, but you say, I'm going to have more small companies. I'm going to have a higher weight towards dividend paying companies. I'm going to actually get some more international exposure. I'm going to own passive real estate through a real estate investment trust. You're going to actually diversify further within your portfolio. It says that you can take your money and you can withdraw up to 5 to 5.5% of your portfolio, which is a big deal. That is way different than the 4% rule. And this is the big part, it's designed to last for 40 plus years. And that's not the only reason I live by this. But the reason I'm telling you this, if you have $2 million, it's saying you could take $100,000 out and be very confident that you'll be able to spend that for the next 40 years. The one disclaimer here is the reason it's guardrails is because it's saying when markets are doing well, we want you to spend more. You're in a really comfortable position. You want to take 3 trips? This is the year to take 5. But it also means in certain years markets are down, the opposite applies. You might want to take 5 trips. We might recommend 3 because markets are down. Instead of taking those 5 trips, which you can still do. I have clients that go, I know markets are down, but this is the year my kid's getting married, so I can't just push that back. That makes sense. But can we maybe also not take an extra trip if that's a year we're also doing a wedding? Can we maybe try to layer out some of these expenses? So the way I'll explain it is the guardrails approach is like going bowling, okay? So when you're going bowling, and I'm not a big bowler, so I don't have the bowling lingo here, okay? So don't make fun of me. You can if you want to. I'm all about joking around and stuff. But if you are going to go take the ball, if that's what it's called, and roll it down the lane, if that's what it's called, and hit over as many pins as you can, great. That is the reason you're going bowling. But there's a cheat code. And the cheat code is bowling with the bumpers up. And the joke I'll tell is that having the bumpers up, that's the cheat code. Unless you're my fiance, who will take that ball and hit someone else 3 lanes across. But I'm just making fun of her. But the point here is when you have the bumpers up, it is your cheat code. That is us as an advisor saying, here's the most you can spend, here's the least you can spend, and here's how this shifts when markets change. So having a guardrails approach is way more applicable if you want to retire early. The number 3 myth is that you're going to be bored. You will not be bored, okay? I have so many clients that worry about being bored, then they retire and go, look, the days go way faster. I have no issue. I'm spending time reading. I'm spending time I'm redating my spouse. If I want, I can go to my church. If I want, I can go volunteer. If I want, I can just do nothing. I can do whatever I want. So this is a myth, is that you are going to be bored. Now you do need to think intentionally. And I talk about this a lot on my videos about purpose and fulfillment, and you don't want to just wing it. But for people who are thinking, I'm just going to be bored, if you're bored today, you'll be bored in retirement. If you're not bored today, you will not be bored in retirement. Health care is number 4. I know I'm joking around here a lot today, guys, but healthcare is the number 1 reason I find people don't retire early. Don't let that be you. I have a client that spends $12 a month on healthcare. You're thinking, oh, this must be terrible coverage. Nope, gold plan. How's that? Well, the reason is because they have a superhero account, which is a brokerage account, an after-tax account, an individual, a joint. They're all named the same exact thing. They just have different names, so advisors get to feel smart. But they all mean the same thing. It is a non-qualified, it's not a retirement account, a brokerage account. If you are pulling from that account, you can keep your income really low because you pay capital gains taxes, not ordinary income. So now your income is lower, you qualify for a subsidy, and you can be really strategic with your planning to keep your healthcare costs low. This is saving our clients anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 a month in many situations. Not always, but once again, depends on your circumstances. So a lot of people go, well, if I retire at 55, I need income for healthcare. I need to pay for that for the next 10 years until Medicare turns on. Is that going to be like $10,000 a year? It could be if you don't plan well. So right now, if you're thinking, I'm going to want to retire early one day, you should think intentionally about going, do I want all my money in a 401k or an IRA? Should I have some in a superhero account, a non-qualified account? You probably will want to consider that. I have a separate video where I talk about how to invest your superhero account. So if you just search YouTube, Ari Taublieb superhero, I will come up and you're going to want to check that one out. Number 5, and this is a big one, is I have people go, I'm going to regret it. Oh my gosh, I'm in my highest earnings years. What? That's not proper English. Earnings years. Maybe that was. What do you think? Highest earnings years. I think that was right? Okay, you could tell me. So I feel so weird. I would have dreamt to make $200,000 a year. And now you want me to walk away from it when I'm 57? I mean, I know you tell me I have enough money, but it just feels wrong. I would have done anything to be in this spot. And also my friends, they can't retire early. Who am I going to hang out with? Yeah, I know my health's not awesome, but I'm just going to keep working a few years anyways. And then maybe if, things change, then I'll retire. And they're just saying things change because it's easier to say things change than actually think about what could occur. And this is you cheating yourself. And this is when I will say, hey, me and Ari's coming out of the shell now. If you don't want to retire because you don't want to stop working, that's different. But if you're saying, hey, no, it's purely financial, then let's stop lying to ourselves because you might be in a spot to retire early today and you might just not know it. So if you don't know if you can retire early, that is why I created the Early Retirement Academy. Now, you don't get one-on-one, you're talking to me. You get my course with my videos, with my software. So you can go in there and actually go play around and see, when am I actually in a spot where work becomes optional? Let's pretend you're 45 today or 50 today. And you're like, hey, I'm going to retire at 55 or 60. Awesome. You might see 57 is when it could be possible, but you might choose to push it back. You might go, wow, actually, I see if I were to downsize and move here, that really changes everything. Why am I still working? I've had people go play with the software and then in 5 minutes go, I'm going to quit on Monday. And you're like, that quick? Yeah, they just are under the assumption, keep saving to my 401k, keep saving to my IRA, that's in my blood. No, don't work longer than you need to if you don't want to, but don't quit for the sake of it. So these are 5 myths that people often just overlook. I hope they were helpful. Now, if you want a custom plan and you want to retire early, that is what we do. So I encourage you to reach out to us via the link below and we'll help you out. Please like, by the way, share, send this to a friend. It's fun if you retire early with someone. I love making these videos. See you next time.